Again, I'm Jane Mark. We're going to get started now. We had a little technical difficulty, but we found it. I'm Jane Mark, and I'm the president of Jam Marketing Inc. And my sidekick and partner here, Phil Baston, is going to be in the chat room during this whole webinar. So please feel free to just um, pop in, ask him anything you want while I'm talking. You'll be able to hear everything I'm saying and to watch, and there'll be a replay and the whole 9 yards. So we've been developing online advertising sites for the past 21 years, if you can believe that. And so you might say we've become players online. My goal today is to show you how to become a player online. And I promise you it's not that hard, but you need to know where to start. So, today I usually start the webinar with two questions to get you thinking about things. Today, I'm just going to give you one question. And what I'd like you to do once I read you the question is to just put your answer up, and there's no right or wrong answers. Just put your answer up in the chat room and let's see what's on your mind in terms of this question. Okay, so the question is a very simple one. It is, what is your goal? What do you want from your online business? So any and all answers are fine, except for one. Don't put up, I want to make money online. I'm going to take that for granted that you're all here because you either are making money online or you would like to make money online, or you're somewhere in the middle and you're making some money and you want to make more money. What other goals? What are your goals for being online and working a business online? Shoot some answers up, any answers, because they're your goals. So there's no right or wrong answer. And Phil's going to read me some answers. Don't be shy. He's in the chat room. Just throw up some answers and then we'll get some out. Wait a minute, I'm getting some answers. Hang on. What? Draw clients. I assume that means get clients to come to your business. How to do that? Who said that? That's a good one. Althea, absolutely. Okay. Carl, to build a list, absolutely. Without a list, you're kind of sunk, right? Reach more people, great. Okay, you need a list, you need traffic. Okay, good. James says engagement, very important. Engagement is very important. We're going to get to that. Yes, nice to be successful enough to work from home. Yvonne said that. And I know what that how that feels. You know, you can either be um, running a business as a hobby, but you have a full time job. But it's very nice to work from home. I can attest to that. Definitely. What else? Oh, Susanna says sell online courses. Great. It's, by the way, let's just stop there for a minute. It's very important that you know what you want to do online, aside from making money. Susanna just gave us a very specific thing: sell my online courses. You should have in mind what you're passionate about and what you really want to sell, because it's very difficult to sell if you're not passionate. Okay, go ahead. Okay, that's good. Who said that? Because that's okay. Charles said, build work at building a 10,000 person list, which is a nice size list. So he's setting a goal. That's a good one. I like that. Income for retirement. That's a new one. And I like that too. That's great. Be your own boss. Yes, I love that. Who said that? Michael said, be your own boss. Oh, and Ron was the retirement one. These are all great answers, guys. And so I see that I have a very percolating crowd here. That's great. So here's what I want to do today. By the end of the webinars, here's what I hope you take away. I want you to know where to start online. I know some of you have been working online a long time, but maybe I'll give you a little bit of a different perspective. I wanted to show you how to get noticed in a very noisy and competitive marketplace, which is the online businesses. I lured you here by saying, what is a loop de loop and why is it important for your success? We are definitely going to get to that. And is there money in the loop de loop? Yes, there is. And lastly, how you can get some much needed help to reach your online goals. So, the first thing I'm going to do is something very simple. You can see this is one of our sites. We have many, many sites, as many of you know. I'm going to log into Front Page Mail for a specific reason. Okay, so I'm going to buy. I'll explain why I'm doing this in a little while, but I'm going to buy some keywords, and then we're going to do something with those keywords. I'm going to buy. Oh, Phil, you could put up the follow along link by now so that people can see webinars. This is not my strong suit spelling, guys. Webinars with Jane Mark and Phil Baston. Okay, so do you see I'm in Front Page Mail? It says buy keywords. I'm down here. I put the keyword in. By the way, let me stop right there. I want to tell you a little bit about keywords. People think that keywords are like advertising or free advertising or one word is a keyword. Uh-uh. That does not a good keyword make. Most people search. By the way, I'm going to search this now and show that it's going to cost me one token, which is $1. So I'm going to buy that webinars with Jane Mark and Phil Baston. That's okay. I'm just giving you the idea. But okay, most people think that a keyword is just one word or two words. It really is mostly when you think about the way you search online. Most of us search in a phrase. Like, for example, I was talking earlier before we started about COVID vaccines and stuff. If I was going to look to find out about COVID-19 vaccines, I would not just put in the word COVID-19 in the search bar, right? Because I wouldn't get the answers I'm looking for. I want to know, so I'm going to type this in. Where can I get a COVID-19 vaccine near me in Deer Park, Illinois? Right? I'm going to try to make my search as cogent and to what I want to get answered from Google. So when you're buying keywords, and I'm going to tell you why it's so important to buy keywords at Front Page Mail. When you buy keywords, think of phrases that go with the website that you want to promote. So if you're doing crypto coins of some sort, right, don't just buy a word crypto coin because that's not going to do you much good. You have to say what kind of crypto coin and are you going to make money with crypto coins, whatever. In other words, you need to modify your keywords when you're searching for keywords and when you're buying them. And there's a reason I'm buying keywords at Front Page Mail. Let's try one more to see if I can spell it right. Jane Mark and Phil Baston webinars. Jane Mark and Phil Baston webinars. I better check that spelling of the last one, webinars. Okay. So now I'm going to search. By the way, you don't have to buy it if you spell it wrong. There, I did it again. Oh, jeez. Okay, so I'll show you. You don't have to buy that. Just go Jane Mark and Phil Baston webinars. Let's see if I got that right. I'm glad I'm making these mistakes because you see they can be corrected. There we go. Jane Mark and Phil Baston webinars. Buy it now. That costs me $1. You see this? I have a keyword token balance. And oh, Phil, excuse me, everybody, but you've got to turn the stove off because my stew is burnt. My beef bourguignon, pardon me, is turning. Phil will be right back. You just got to run in the front and turn the stove off before I lose all the bourguignon in my beef. Okay, so there's a reason I'm buying keywords and that go with webinars, and I'm going to show you that right now. We're going to go here, and we're going to search on. So I have so many words that go with webinars. Let's do not the one I just bought necessarily, but let's search on. Um, Hold on, I'm getting there. I just want to make sure that I'm searching on the best one that we can. Let's try this. Live webinars. I already own this word, so webinar. And if I spell it right, it should get me to the right place. Live webinars with Jane, Mark, and Phil Baston. Okay. So if I own these keywords, don't think that just because I own it, it's going to get on the front page of Google. I'm going to show you in a minute why this is important and how you get on the front page of Google. Okay, so here, this is a webinar we did at one point, Walkaway Mailer, one of our newer sites. This is a webinar we did with Mike Glassby on profit from free ads. Here's one, ask anything that fills in the chat room, walk away mail or cool. Well, you get the idea. We've done a lot of webinars. There's one we did with George Koch on profit from free ads, from George Koch from World Profit, front page mail. I've done a webinar. So here's the point, guys. One of the ways you can build a list and get to all of the goals that you guys mentioned in the beginning is to get your sites on the front page of Google because that's where most people search. Okay, so how do you do that? Let's go back here for a second. I didn't buy those keywords just for fun. You can use them at front page mail in a million different ways to get on the search things. I'm not going to go into that now. But where you can use it is on the front page mailer. And I say this is just a regular, ordinary mailer where if you've sent a something, I just saved this so that I could load one of these sites. Okay. Phil, I need you to help me with this to load this site. Just come over. And the top one is loop-de-loop. So I want to show them why I'm doing this. Okay. So I'm doing the loop-de-loop as we speak. This is an ad, let's say, that I'm sending out. And this is the ad, and it's the registering for the thing that we're having right now. Now, those words are right down here. Any word that I have bought at front page mail will come up if I start typing. Like, let's start to type live webinar with Jane and Phil. All I do is click that and select the word. And I can do that over and over again so that I can go back to live webinar with Jane Mark and Phil Baston. By the way, this is what's getting me onto the front page, not just this. There's a reason. I don't want you to think this just applies to front page mail, but I'll just add 1 million eye views just so you can see that any word that I have on webinar is going to come up when I click this. Okay, so now I'm going to preview my email, and whatever I put down here, and it could be everything that relates to webinars, everything that I put in that little box where you can see, it comes up and you can click it, is going to appear at the bottom of the email. Then I'm going to submit my email just like a regular email. There's a reason that I'm telling you this. Now I'm going to put up the follow along link. Phil, do you have the follow along link that in the chat box? Okay, do I have it somewhere? I will. Where's the chat box? Phil's gonna start laughing at me because I haven't a clue what the chat box is. Oh, there it is. Is that it? The follow along link. Can you put that in? Just copy that. No, go down there, copy it, and put it in the browser just so I can. That would be a big help. Okay. Oh. Okay. So this is what we're going over, but what I want to show you, these are the words that I own and some words that we just bought. But the reason I showed you the mailer and how it works and how easy it is to attach a keyword to your mailer is because that is what's getting me onto Google on page 1. Because when you have something that stands out, that's different about your emails, you can get them picked up on Google. And adding keywords, most people around the net haven't a clue how to do this or where to start with doing it. And the reason is because if they want to get on Google page 1, they have to pay somebody about $2,500 with just to get on with 1 or 2 keyword phrases onto Google. Phil, my very creative partner, took a look around and said, who has the money to pay $2,500 so that you get on so many search terms that it's beyond belief? You'd have to literally pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. So here's what Phil did. He made it so you can buy any keyword, or I like to say keyword phrases, at front page mail. Anything you can think of. Of course, you want to make it go with a specific website, but if you have 100 websites, you can buy 100 keyword phrases and match them up with your different websites. But here's where it gets really interesting. I showed you that you could attach your keywords to the front page mailer. You can also attach those same keywords to 19 different sites, and there are sites, but we did this on purpose so that when you use one of our mailers, you can attach any keyword from front page mail is automatically shows at the bottom of the mailer. I want to show you now. So let's go over here. I think I'll do this in Chrome. Okay. I'm going to log into Profit from Free Ads. Let's log in. Okay, I'm going to go over to the mailer at front page mail. I can pick any mailer that I want. Okay, I picked one that's again about the webinars. Down here, you're going to find all of the keywords that I own at Front Page Mail. You will find they will open up at this mailer. Any of those mailers, 19 other mailers. So again, we'll go um, do Jane Mark, and now let's just start with webinar again and see what happens. Webinar, okay, live webinars with Jane and Phil. Live webinar, Jane Mark and Phil Baston. Join us live. We could do, there's a lot of different things. You could go on depending on how many keywords you bought. You must attach a minimum of 3 keywords to any of the mail that you're going to send out on any of those 19 sites. Then you just go preview the mailer. And again, your keywords are going to show down here. It is so important, guys, that we all think of getting ahead in this online business, posting on Facebook and Twitter, and which all takes a lot of manual labor, right? Mailing to mailers and all that. But if you want really good exposure, you want your sites with your name on it to show up at Google. When people search on phrases, don't try to buy advertising or the word free. I mean, I'm talking about buy it at Front Page Mail. If you try to buy advertising, it probably sells for $1,600, and same thing for free advertising. You don't have to spend more than $1 for one keyword phrase, and I can tell you, you put the one in you want. If it doesn't come up if it's too much, I mean, some of them are $5, not $1. 99% of the words cost you $1. And if you find one that's $5 and you must have it, okay, spend the $5. But what I do is usually just change an S to it. You change one word in it in the keyword phrase, and you can buy it for $1. And then you can use it at every single one of our sites. And if you do that regularly and start to search on the terms that you're attaching to your mailers and blogs, you're going to find that eventually it's not overnight, but sometimes it is. Sometimes it's 72 hours. But if you keep at this, you will find that you can search on your own site and that it will come up on Google. Now, I promised you that I would tell you this is very important because this is all about making money. I mean, if you can get your sites onto Google, um, you're really ahead of the game. In addition to building a list and doing all of the other things that you guys talked about in the beginning, which were great goals, but this will add to it. It will really add to it. So I am very big on buying keywords at Front Page Mail. When we either develop a new site or we pick up somebody else's site and we're promoting it, the very first thing I do is log into Front Page Mail and go to frontpagemail.com and buy keywords, which let me just log in again. So you saw how simple it is. And by the way, I'm a founder, so founders get 1,000 keywords to start, $1,000 actually in keywords to start with, and which will keep you in buying keywords for a very long time. But you don't have to start there. You can start with $20, and at the end of the webinar, we're going to make you an offer about how you can do this for virtually nothing. I'll get to that later, though. So, as you can see, the first place I want you to think about and start is at Front Page Mail. Whether you buy $20 worth of tokens and buy 20 keywords or you become a founder, it doesn't matter. Start somewhere and buy keywords. Okay, so now how is why have I been talking about a loop de loop for the last week and a half or 2 weeks? First of all, I'll tell you that my father, who was in real estate, but his real love was flying small airplanes for general aviation airplanes. And in fact, he taught me how to fly when I was 6 years old. I was flying, well, with his help, of course. I was flying a Piper Cub, which is a seaplane, that we landed on the lake, and it was great fun. But the reason I'm telling you about a loop-de-loop is because it really is a flyer's term. Now, we didn't do the loop-de-loops. If you ever went to an air show, you could see these daredevils in small planes going upside down and then back around, and upside down and then back around. That's a loop de loop. Or if you were in school and you used to make paper airplanes, you would make them loop de loop as they flew towards the teacher. I know that none of you did that, but that is what a loop de loop is. But what it is in marketing and promotion and building lists and everything else is that you are going to play things off one against the other in order to reach your goals, whether it's list building or retiring or selling courses that you love, whatever your goal is, because this is all working towards making money. If you use some or all of the 19 sites where you can put your keywords that you bought here, and all you do is attach them on other mailers and blogs. By the way, the strongest place to attach them, as long as I'm front page mail, we have a Cool Buzz mailer where you can create articles. So, and articles and blogs will get you noticed the most. And you can do that. It's so cool. You can do that at front page mail. You can attach your keywords to the blog at Profit from Free Ads and all of the mailers. So you can use these keywords in and around on all of those 19 sites that are listed in your follow along in the follow along link, which we'll send out to you directly after the webinar if you aren't able to grab it now. But I call that, you can call it anything you want. You could call it piggyback marketing or round robin marketing. I call it doing the loop de loop, going from one site where I can kind of mesh another site with it and make them do double duty for me. So when I'm mailing it Profit from Free Ads, I am really making all of my keywords that relate to that site work for me. And I can do it again at Etsy Mail, or I can do it again at Front Page Mail. And I can buy as many words as I want. I can keep changing them and adding them because they're only $1, which is really very cheap. As you can see, like this line, by the way, at the Front Page Mail is was really from another site where people were spending a lot of money on words. But as you can see, everything I bought today, and it will let this line run. I'm pointing to that bottom line with the black type. You can see that all of the words I bought these earlier, loop to loop is $1, round robin marketing, same thing really. It's one site playing off against the other. Piggyback marketing is $1. You can do the same thing I'm doing. Just oh, we're going to talk about buying the spread, by the way, in a minute. I bought a lot of keywords this morning because I see Memorial Day tribute. And somebody paid $5. I can tell you right now, if they had just added an S on the Memorial Day tribute, they probably could have gotten it for $1. But most, as you can see, these are members buying keywords, and most of them sell for $1. So there is power in using one site that can get you onto front page onto Google, basically, and using it at a lot of many different sites. And I'm calling that loop de loop because you're just going back and forth between one site and another and using your keywords to make your email or your blogs much stronger than they would be without adding those keywords. Now, there's another part of loop de loops, which I call this is where the money part comes in. By the way, so listen up. I call I call it buying the spread, and here's what I mean. Let's go to upgrades here. I don't know if I'll have a okay. Um, okay, buying this when you go to a site, any site. I'm not talking about just jam sites, but jam. We try to do this in most of our sites. What you want to do so that you can make money from that site, not just from whatever site you're promoting, but from actually promoting your advertising sites. You want to make sure that there's a way for people to come in the front door for a very low price. Like, for example, this is $20 a month at front page mail, and then it goes up to what's the next one? 497. Well, you get the idea with that. But the prices go up. This is 997. This is 1497. At profit from free ads, we have even more um, gentler. Let's put. I mean, that more you can upgrade through levels, and it starts at $17 and goes all the way up to $1,169, and everything in between. What that means is that when you go to promote a site, and let's say you're promoting XYZ site, having nothing to do with Jam Marketing Inc., and you're going to use one of our mailers like Profit from Free Ads, and you send out your ad and whatever, and you build some sort of downline in that um, site that you're promoting. Your people, because they signed up under you for a reason, they're going to expect you to give them some help on where to go to promote things. So there are lots of places you can go to promote, but you want to think about how to invest your own money in the best possible way. If you find our mailers work for you and you like one of our sites in particular, when somebody comes to you from one of your downlines and says, do you have a recommendation for me so that I can start promoting XYZ site? You want to send them to a site that offers you a good way to make some dough on the commissions. Now, Front Page Mail basically has four membership levels, but you can go and just buy keywords. Buy tokens for as little as $20 without ever upgrading in Front Page Mail. Or you can buy $50 or $25 or whatever you want, and you can buy keywords. So it doesn't just have four levels at Front Page Mail. It has anywhere from $20 to 500 or 1,000, and you can make a commission on every single one of those sales. And the same thing at Profit from Free Ads, 17 up to 697 and everywhere in between. So you want to make sure as a business person online that you have good advertising sites um, that you can rely on, except, of course, if there's a freeze in Texas. But we'll put that aside because that hasn't happened in 21 years. But other than that, you really want to buy into a site where you're buying the spread, meaning when you promote that site to somebody else, you stand to make a commission on anything, even if it's low, but you'll get them into the site and then maybe they'll upgrade over time so that you can make money from a low ticket item, $20, $17, all the way up to $1,400, $1,500, or even higher than that. So I call that buying the spread. That's a webinar for a completely, I mean, that's a word and a topic for a completely different webinar, which I plan to do soon. But I wanted to bring it to your attention that we're not only talking now about looping, meaning you're going to play one set of sites against the other by using your keywords in them, but you're also going to loop your commissions, meaning you want to get something that is going to really pay you some money in the event that you sell it and promote it all by itself apart from whatever site that you want to promote. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention there's going to be a very big bonus at the end of the webinar for those of you who stay. So I want to make sure that you stay till the end because I have a big bonus. Now, I want to talk to you about the final. We showed you how to get where to start online. I'm emphasizing start at front page mail and buy yourself some keywords. We talked about how to get noticed in a noisy and competitive world, which is you invest in some very affordable words at front page mail. You use them with your mailers. And if you can get yourself onto the front page of Google, you're going to find your business really picks up. So that's what that's what I'm calling the loop de loop is to get noticed by buying these keywords, attaching them to mailers and blogs at 19 other sites. And every site we develop, by the way, from now on, will have the ability to add keywords to the mailers. It's just I love it. It's my favorite, one of my favorite things that Phil has done online. And we talked about how you can make dough from these sites, a lot of money, by giving your downlines a way to promote the site that you just sold them. And in that case, you're going to make, um, you can make quite a lot of money. If you, I don't know, is Linda here? Oh, because Linda just sold a founder at, I forget which site it was. Linda probably knows. But anyway, she's making a, we're sending out checks to her. What? Oh, a profit from free ads. So she just made a lot of dough from selling one founder membership and profit from free ads. And she's going to keep getting checks on that. So it can happen, guys. It's not that hard to do. Now, what Phil came up with, because whether you're a seasoned hand and at marketing or if you're just starting online, often you can get it by giving over your website to Phil, who is just brilliant at writing ads and buying keywords, by the way, because he researches them. He came up with a fabulous deal that we're going to offer you. Well, that I am offering you right now today. So, could you put up the link in the website for um, we're calling it the walk in the park deal. And the reason for that is because get to go for a walk in the park and we get to do the work. So this is what we call the walk in the park deal. And let me say to you right out of the box, we're going to give you, so your balance will say today 500 buying tokens into a front page mail account. Whether you're, if you decide to go with this deal, it doesn't matter if you are a member, if you're not, there, Phil, please put up the sign up link for front page mail. Oh, he put up the sign up link. But you're going to start out, this number is going to say whatever you might have in your account now, plus $500. Then we're going to take your website, one website that you give us, and Phil's going to research the most searched on keyword phrases for that for your particular website. Most of them, just like I showed you, will cost $1. So by the time he's finished with 25, maybe he'll have bought one that costs $10 or $5. But I can tell you, you're going to end up with $450 in your account and maybe 475, depending on what he finds matches your account. So before you walk in the door with this deal, you've got 500 or 450, actually $500 in your pocket because all of the keywords belong to you in your account and you can use them forever. So that's the first part of the deal, and it's to me it's amazing. He came up with this. I looked at him and said, "Are you nuts?" But anyway, I think it's a wonderful deal. So he's going to fund your account with 500 tokens in right off the bat. He's going to take your website, choose 25 words that match it, and he'll buy them on in your account, so you'll always have them. As we talked about in the webinar, you can use those keywords at 19 of our solo ed mailers and blogs. So right off the bat, you can use them all over the place. And you don't have to be a member of all of our sites to use them, but you probably, many of you are a member of at least one or two of them. So you'll use them not only at Front Page Mail, but all over the from some of the other sites. Okay, then Phil's going to write you a killer ad. That's a long ad that really gets into the what your website is about. I then take if you approve that ad, because he sends it to you for your approval, I take it and I create the shorter ads for it. So I create a short ad, also an ad that you can use on Cool Wall at So Cool, which goes to 1.5 million people. So that's not a bad deal. Um, and I create a Facebook and a Twitter ad for you, and we post them to our of course, you get to keep the everything that we're doing, but I post them to my Facebook and Phil's Facebook and Twitter accounts. So that's over 18,000 friends and followers right there. Then Phil will create a professional 125 by 125 banner, and we'll put it on Profit from Free Ads. By the way, let's just look for a moment. Profit from free ads. He's going to put it on profit from free ads, and it will show up on the ad profit page. The ad profit page shows up all over this site. It's on the main sales page, like here. It's on every affiliate page. It's in the members area. Your banner gets a huge exposure. And because we get a huge amount of traffic, you can use your credit sub very fast because there is a lot of traffic and you get ad views every day, all day long. So I came up with the idea so that your banner will show for a long time that will give you, it's 10 million ad views, right, Phil? No, 10 million. You said 1 million. I said 10. There it is. 10 million. He forgot. I think I startled Phil so much that he forgot that it was 10 million. That 10 million is a lot, but you need a lot at profit from free ads because we get a lot of traffic. So that's a really good deal, part of the deal. And because when we post on Cool Wall for you, you need what's called an Etsy link. You can't. It's a long story, but we don't allow straight links. I mean, meaning a link straight to the site, like Profit from Free Ads or whatever. We create an Etsy link for you, which is yours to use, and it's a great tracking link. Um, so that's when we say we create a special customized tracking link for you, That's what I'm talking about. We also post, I take your ads, your short ad and your long ad. I post it on my blog at Profit from Free Ads, and I post it on my blog at So Cool. That generates a link of that blog post, which is yours to keep and promote anywhere you like. So, and that has keywords attached to it. So that's a good um, thing to have is the blog post links, and you get to promote them. Now, the cost of that. The reason I'm so excited about the 500 buying tokens is where is the cost of the deal, Phil? Because is it 497? Yeah, it's down the bottom of the page and it's 497. And don't forget that you start out with $500. Those are real dollars in your account. They're buying tokens to buy keywords, but they're 500 of them. And all Phil's going to spend is a minute part of that in order to match them to your site. So he's going to buy 25 words. So you're going to end up with almost the whole price of this deal covered, which is, I love that. Now, if you're interested, we cannot do dozens of these deals. Obviously, there's a huge amount of work in it. So if you're interested, we're going to try to limit this really to 10 people at the most because otherwise Phil will be doing this for the rest of his life and he'll never get to do another site again. We don't want that. So we really wanted to make this webinar not only interesting for you. I hope you learned a lot about what I meant by looping. Um, but we wanted to offer you a really good deal because um, times are tough. We want you to get value for your money. And also, Phil, can you put up the other link, the double up? I know that some of you may not be able to afford the 497. That's fine. What I would like you to do is there's another link on the follow along page which says grab the double up deal here, which lets you buy just tokens. It's not an upgrade. It's just buying tokens at Front Page Mail. And if you buy 50 or more, we will double those uh, buying tokens to 100. So we're trying to make sure that everybody can get in on this because this is a good place if you really don't know much about marketing or you're very seasoned. It doesn't matter. Starting at Front Page Mail is a really good place to start. I didn't tell you everything that Front Page Mail does. There's a whole training tape where I log in and go over every part of it. So if you want to just go in there and check out everything it has to offer, go to the training section and you'll see how it works. But if you do nothing else today, start at Front Page Mail, get some keywords, let Phil go to work for you because he is the best at what he does, which is write ads. He also knows how to search keywords to see who's looking at what keywords. So you can't go wrong with the walk in the park deal. I'm going to say it again that you take a walk in the park. All you do is give us your URL. You take a walk in the park and we do it all for you. And that means you end up with links to my blog posts, with posts on Facebook and Twitter, ads up the wazoo, short ones, long ones. Um, I think it's a really good deal that Phil and I put together. So I hope some of you will start there. If not, make sure you sign up to Front Page Mail. It's very easy, frontpagemail.com. Just let me log out of here. So Front Page Mail. Oh, I want to mention something that's really, really important. We've been online for 21 years. Many of our sites except for the very newest ones, did not were not on HTTPS links. They are all now, by the way. I am seeing some of you put in links and they're being blocked in your emails because maybe you didn't add an HTTPS. I hope you will know what I mean by so this would be HTTPS. Now, older sites are not on HTTPS unless you put them there and unless they have certificates that will let them go there. So if you bought into front page mail and you bookmarked it somewhere, make sure on your logins to the site, any of the older sites, that you put an HTTPS in front and log in there so that your passwords stay safe and so that in an email, make sure to check your own sites that you're promoting. Make sure they are on HTTPS. That we went through every single one of our sites and put the whole thing. The members area took months, little no, not months, but about 2 months. Go through them all. But it is very important to do that, guys, because you can lose your passwords and also you can get blocked. Not it used to be just by Firefox, excuse me. Now Chrome is blocking you too. So people will read your ad, they'll click on the link and they'll get this terrible message. This website has been blocked. It's risky, whatever the message is that they're sending out nowadays. But you want to be very careful. So I forgot to mention that, but that's good advice. You should pocket that advice. Make sure you're promoting on HTTPS now. Okay, so we still have a few minutes. You're welcome to ask Phil any questions. And Phil, if there are any general questions that I can, answer to everybody, I'd be happy to do that. We'll stay as long as you want us to, guys, so that you can ask any questions that you like. And if there are ones that are applicable to a lot of people, I'll be happy to talk about them. Unless you would like to talk some, because I'm losing my voice. So. Hello? Phil is absorbed in some conversation. Do you want to say something at the end of the. What? Not yet. Okay, he's busy. I'm sorry. You don't get to hear my partner's beautiful Australian accent, which is so much nicer than my New York accent. Anyway, ask any kind of questions you want. I hope you got something out of the webinar. Phil's going to be sitting in that chat room until he's answered every one of your questions. So don't be shy because that's what we're here for. I love to teach. Oh, by the way, one of the other things you should think about when remember we talked about goals in the beginning of the webinar, and whatever your goal is, it's fine. If you love it and you're passionate about what you want to do online or in any business, doesn't matter if it's online, but um, this is most of you are on online businesses, so you have to love it. You have to love being at that computer in the morning, in the evening, wherever, whenever. And if it's something that you're passionate about, you will love doing it. And I don't see how. I'm sure there are exceptions, but I can't imagine how anyone could work at a business because Phil and I work very hard at our business. I'm online at 2 in the morning. He's up at 10 at night. I mean, we have like two ships that pass in the night because we're on most of the time. Maybe they're 4 hours we're not on online, but we love it. We love what I'm doing. We love what we're doing. So I hope you do too, because it's very hard to build a business. if you don't really love what you're doing. And oh my God, I completely forgot. Okay, I have 4 more minutes, so I I completely forgot what the bonus is for today. The bonus is 1 million ad credits at Front Page Mail, because Front Page Mail has one of those ad profit pages too. And so you can put up a banner or text ad or whatever you want and assign credits to it. Today, we're going to give you, because this to me was a very important webinar, I want to make sure you got something out of it. So 1 million ad credits are yours for just for being here. And here's how you collect. Phil, can you put my email up? It's Jane on the chat room. It's Jane, Jane, Mark, Mark, 4, the number 4, at gmail.com. And just put in the subject line, I was at the webinar. And then give me your name and your username at Front Page Mail, and I will. It may not be right away, might be tomorrow morning, but we will get those credits into your Front Page Mail account. And all you need to do is just shoot me. I was at the webinar, and I'll be happy to add them to your account. And those are very valuable because that's about $5,000 worth of ad credits right there. So I'm just delighted that you came to this webinar. Phil and I were really looking forward to doing a little bit different kind of a webinar today. Sometimes we log in and go over a lot of things in our sites, but I wanted you to see how things get interrelated and how much money you can actually make by getting exposure for your websites and by kind of loop de looping one against the other, or piggybacking one against the other, or round robining them, whatever you want to call it. I call it loop de looping, and it seems to work. So keep that in mind when you're promoting, and also the high to low. Oh, I'll tell you a story about Macy's. Macy's drives me crazy. Every holiday, they have specials like any store, but their specials are so ridiculously low sometimes. And that is, of course, how they get you in the door. I'll give you two quick examples. I guess it was around Christmas time. They had these, you know how plaid shirts now are all the rage. So they had plaid shirts for $7.99, which were originally 60 bucks, 70 bucks. Now, who can resist that? How bad can a plaid shirt be for that were $60 for 7.99? So I ordered them for everyone I knew. Men, they were men's shirts, and they were beautiful. I'm telling you, they were high quality plaid shirts, and everybody I gave them to loved them. Now, most people, I of course looked around to see what else they had in the men's department, but I was so happy about spending $7.99 on these what looked like beautiful plaid shirts. That recently, what? Oh, we had Valentine's Day recently, so any holiday I pop into Macy's online because I know they're going to do something ridiculous to get you in the door. So sure enough, Valentine's Day, I popped in a few days before, and they have towels that I've been looking for, lightweight big towels that I've been looking for years. But you can spend up to like $50, $60 for like a, what do you call those, beach towels or whatever they are. These towels, they weren't huge, but they were $3.99. So I figure, oh, this has got to be just a rotten towel. So I ordered two of them, like one white and one blue, whatever. No, I think it was also 7.99 originally. So I ordered two. They came. They were absolutely, they washed beautifully. They were great towels. I go back a few days later and they marked them down to $3.99. These are real towels, not beach towels, bath towels, but they're beautiful. They come in different colors. I bought them in every color. I bought two of each color, but that's how you get people in the door in any business, right? So I'm telling you the Macy's experience because they do it beautifully. Because then you look around at the jewelry and the pocketbooks and whatever, and they're not $7.99 or $3.99. But that's what I was telling you about the prices at our sites. We try very hard to have a low entry point and then up to, and of course you get more value as you go up through the upgrades. But even so, for people starting online who look at, like $197 or $497 and say, oh, I don't know enough yet to spend that, it's good to have sites that have a lower price point, but have an opportunity to make you a lot more money when people. I had somebody tell me the other day, um, they just joined one of our sites, and one day they upgraded in one of the sites. I forget which one. Then they bought into So Cool, and I got a nice note. I really love your sites, and each of the sales was higher than the one before. That's the point I'm trying to make. So sort of like Macy's, people get to know you. If they trust you and like you and see that your sites actually do what they say they're going to do, um, they will usually buy more things from you. Um, and it's not that they just buy it from us; they buy it from you guys too, because we pay out a lot of commissions, because you have the same ability to offer them a low, get in the door at a low price, and then go up from there. So anyway, I don't want to keep you guys. How many? Are you still answering questions? Okay, Phil says that we're done. I want to thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon. I hope you got something out of this. Email me for your 1 million front page mail ad credits for being here, and have a great rest of the weekend. And we'll see you soon because I'm going to do that buy on the spread webinar soon. Okay, take care. You sure you're done, Phil? I don't want to close anybody out. Okay, I'm going to close this then.